Hi, everyone. My name is Julia,
And I'm Katie.
and we're the hosts of the Runways and Byways travel podcast. Today, we're going to be talking about something a little different. We've kind of that wasn't what I was trying to say. Brushed upon this. Is that, yeah. Anyways, we've
Brushed over it?
brushed over this topic. Yeah. I don't know what I'm trying to say. We've discussed this a little bit, and now we're going to try to discuss it more in detail because it is a big thing. It's traveling as a couple. And now that Katie's in a serious relationship, and so am I married, and she's doing her thing with Michael. So I think it's important that we discuss traveling as a couple because it's something that both of us are now really getting into, and I know a lot of our listeners are probably getting into as well. So we want to talk about just the ins and outs of traveling as a couple. We've both done it now, so we can talk about that and our experiences and our tips and what we think you should do, shouldn't do, etc. So we'll get into that today. Katie, anything to say on that?
No, I'm just super excited to talk about all the ins and outs because it's such a specific thing and it's something a lot of people do. And I'm just really excited to jump into it. And like you said, talk about all the different intricacies of traveling as a couple.
Yeah, because I do think it could be different than traveling with a friend in a lot of ways. Because I know you said from your Savannah trip that things were different traveling with Michael.
Oh, yeah. I mean, it's, obviously as a couple, you're just a little bit more intimate. Like you could be a little bit more of yourself, or at least that's kind of like the point of being in a couple. So when you're that much of yourself, it could be really easy to kind of go the complete opposite way, if that
Mhm.
makes sense. Because I think
Do,
with friends, a lot of time you put up like a face.
do I make you feel uncomfortable?
No,
Is
but
that
I
what you're
feel
trying
like
to
I
say?
wouldn't talk to you the same way I talk to him. Like I wouldn't be like,
Yeah,
"Hey, babe, good morning." Like
you
when I
can.
talk to you, I mean, I guess that's true, but I just feel like it's just like a different layer of
Yeah.
personality and the way you act. It's just different. So, and we've never really talked about it because this is like my first time in a serious relationship. Fun fact, with my ex, we never traveled together and we were together for like 3 years off and on, but we had never once traveled anywhere, not even for the weekend together.
Yeah, you and Michael have all these trips planned together now, and it's someone you
Yeah.
actually genuinely want to travel with.
Yeah. I mean, no offense to, to my ex. It just never happened. I don't know. He just never wanted to go. And with Michael, we're just so on the same page of like, let's go here, let's go there, everywhere. Like we're just so like similar in that way. So it's
Yeah.
very different for me.
Yeah, now we're able to talk about our experiences with that and kind of bounce off each other on how our experiences affected us differently in a way. Because every relationship's different, but I think there are certain things about traveling as a couple that like are kind of similar for every couple almost. Like it's a bonding experience no matter how you look at it.
Exactly. And
Yeah.
you just get to know each other so much better. So I'm really excited to talk about all that kind of stuff.
Yeah, so we'll get into that in a few, but Katie, it's your trivia question this week, right?
Yes, I have a really fun one today. Very
Okay.
different. And it also relates to kind of couples. So that's
Okay.
kind of why I chose it. It's really funny. Okay. So this is the question. In which country can you find an annual festival where people race each other while carrying their wives on their back?
What?
And this is
Wow.
a real thing. It was on The Bachelor.
Really?
Yeah, it's really funny. So that's why I was like, funny couples.
Oh, that's cute.
Yeah.
I don't know. Yeah,
Yeah.
I've only seen like two episodes of The Bachelor and I didn't see that episode, so I don't know.
No, that was in the most
Um,
recent one.
okay, yeah, I definitely didn't see that one. I don't know. Wow. So you knew this previously? This is like,
If you would have brought it up to me, I would have been like, oh, I know the general area because they went here on The Bachelor and they did this.
okay. This could go a lot of ways. It's not the United States. I've never done that. But like I feel like it sounds like it could be like a very Norway, Finland, Sweden type thing to do, but then I could also see it being like some African tribe doing that. So I don't
Right.
know.
Yeah.
That's hard.
It's
Yeah.
very specific.
Um, I'm gonna think and get it wrong, but because I don't know where my head is at right now at all. I can't even give you
Yeah.
general direction. I just think my answer is not the United States.
Okay, that's fair.
Yes. Am I right?
I can't tell you.
I think that's pretty good. That's at least half a point, I would think.
Yeah.
Okay. But anyways, we'll find out that answer later. We'll get
Mhm.
into that at the end. So I guess right now we should just jump into our topic for today, which again is traveling as a couple. So
Mhm.
Katie, where have you gone with Michael as a couple, and where do you have planned? I know you have like one or two things planned, and I know that you have gone places with him, but I'm not remembering everything. I know you did Savannah. I know you're doing Lake George. Is there anything else you wanted to mention?
We also did travel, our very first travel experience. We didn't really go far, but it's kind of like a little staycation, and I'm counting it. We went to Ohika Castle for the weekend.
I
So
think
that
you
was,
absolutely can count that. I think
yeah.
going anywhere with your significant other is considered travel. You know,
And that
you're
was
not,
the first time that we ever traveled together.
yeah, you're not home, so it's travel. Yeah.
So yeah, so we've been to Ohika Castle. We've been to Savannah, Georgia, and we're going to Lake George in a couple of weeks. And at the end of this episode, I will reveal our trip that we're going on after Lake George, which is super fun. So I'm not
Oh,
going to say that yet. It's a surprise for
do I
everyone.
know about it?
You do.
I do. Okay. I was
Yeah.
like, oh, something else I don't know
No, no,
about.
no, 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 no.
Because I think I know which one you're talking about, but then I was like, is there something else? Because you said it's a surprise.
You have to stay tuned. It's a big one.
Okay. Yeah, yeah,
So,
I
but
know what
those
you're
are the
talking about.
three chill places that we've been together.
Okay, yeah, I was like, I can't believe there's something she's not telling me. We were
Yeah,
talking for
no.
so long. Okay.
Yeah, no.
Yeah. Yeah, that's a decent amount of trips. So you have gotten comfortable traveling as a couple, it sounds.
Yeah. I mean, I feel like from the very start, I felt very comfortable with him. So I think, traveling, you have to be very comfortable, but it could also be that, maybe that could fast forward your relationship a little bit if you feel comfortable doing it, going away with somebody. Like you really get to know somebody that way as well.
Oh yeah, good and bad. I think you just get to
Yeah.
know who they are, really.
Yeah. Where
Yeah,
were the places that you've been?
it's kind of confusing because it's hard for me to say because we've been together for almost 10 years now. But from what I we haven't really traveled that much together, but I'm just like, I'm not going to remember all the small trips, I don't think. But he used to live in Canada, so I visited him in Canada. I don't know if that counts. It's kind of travel. It's travel for me.
Counts. Yeah.
And we've gone to Disney together a bunch of times before we moved down here. And where else have we gone together? We went to Puerto Rico together, even though we had some friends with us. We went on a cruise together to the Bahamas. We went on our honeymoon together, obviously. We went to South Africa and Zimbabwe on that. And I don't know. We don't travel too much together. I think we'd really like to start traveling more together. It just never really worked out that way because he always had some very large commitment that he couldn't leave, and I would always just wind up traveling with you, which obviously I love doing and still want to keep doing. But yeah, traveling with him just kind of always got. Oh, we went to Texas together also somewhat recently. But
Mhm.
yeah, traveling with him just kind of gets pushed to the side a lot because of his work and everything he's had going on in his life. But I hope that changes. And we do have a trip planned for the summer. We're going to Mexico, the Bahamas, and Honduras.
Nice. And you've been to South Carolina and Georgia.
Oh yes, yeah. We have.
Yeah.
Thank you. I
Welcome.
completely forgot about that. Yeah, like I said, it's 10 years of memories that I'm racking my brain for. I think we've been to New Jersey a few times together. I don't know, just a bunch of different like small things. Pennsylvania, I know we've done too. We have
Mhm.
done a lot of small things. I'm obviously remembering the more bigger ones, but yeah, we have done a lot of small things that are in somewhere in the back of my archives of my brain too.
Yeah.
So yeah, we definitely have some experience traveling together, and I hope we get more. But yeah, so that's my travel experience with my husband Donato. I don't know if I ever said his name on here because you never like met him on the podcast. So my
Yeah.
husband's name is Donato, just in case you guys are wondering. Because we're always saying Michael by name, but my husband is always my husband. Yeah. So
Right. Yeah.
maybe when we have him as a guest, I'll start calling him by his name, but I don't want to confuse anybody, you know?
I think they'll get it.
Yeah, but like if they don't listen to every episode, they'll be like, who's
Right.
that? And I don't feel
Well,
like explaining.
you just say Donato, my husband.
Yeah, that's a
And then you
mouthful
just
though.
keep on saying no, but it's a mouthful to start. And then every time you mention him again in that episode, you just say Donato
That's true. You're right.
instead of my
Okay.
husband, my husband, my husband.
Yeah, that's true. Because Donato is less words than my husband.
Yeah.
Yes. Okay. I'll start doing that. My husband Donato and I have been to a few places. Okay. So now we can discuss actually traveling with our significant others and how we
Mhm.
feel about it and navigating the situations. So What are the benefits of traveling as a couple to you?
I mean, for me personally, I feel like Michael is the person that I feel most comfortable around. And like I kind of said before, I know not everybody's like this with their partner. I think some people might be a little bit more reserved around like a significant other, but I'm just like even more like hyper myself. Like I'm not afraid to cry. I'm not afraid to say exactly what I'm thinking. So for me, it's like very authentic. And when we talked about traveling solo, about how you kind of can like do what you want, just for me and me personally, I feel like he is almost like an extension of myself. So it's literally almost like I'm solo traveling, but like with a safe person. So for me, like it is a really big benefit traveling with him just because I could be super authentic. Not that I'm not authentic with you, because I am extremely authentic
Yeah,
with
have you
you.
been being fake with me this
No, see,
whole
I feel like
time?
it's confusing. But like I think it's like it's a
I get what you're saying.
close. It's very close. Like I'm pretty much authentic with you, but I think with him, he's just such an easygoing person that if I was like, you
Am
know
I
what, I
not?
know that no, but Michael's like, okay, if you hear this, you're gonna be like, I am not like this. Like,
Okay,
we'll
that's
literally
fair.
have something booked, and it could cost like a couple of $100s. But if I'm like, I really don't want to do it today, he's kind of like, I'm fine not doing it, and we would
Mhm.
not do it. Whereas I
Okay.
feel like with you or with like obviously other people, it's like, no, we're doing that, and I'd push myself, and I'd be happy to, but it's like different in that way that like I said, if I was traveling by myself, I wouldn't mind canceling things or not, or like completely changing the script. Um, so that's kind of like what I do with him as opposed to like friends.
Yeah. See, for me, I feel like it would be the same situation if it was with you versus with Donato. I think if he had told me he wanted to, like if I had told him I wanted it, I would never say that. I would never say I wanted to cancel
See,
something now
that's
because I'm just not like that.
exactly. We're just
But
yeah, we're just different that way.
but I think I would react the same way if you said you wanted to cancel something versus if Donato said he wanted to cancel something to me. Like if that was told to me, I think I'd react the same way. Like I mean,
Yeah.
I think I'd say yes to either of you, but I'd be like, why? Like I wouldn't, you know.
I just feel like I wouldn't even suggest it. Like we did that one time where we were
Did we?
supposed to go zip lining,
Oh,
but it was
yes.
just too much. And but we were both kind of on the same page around it.
Hmm.
Um, but for the most part, like I mean, I won't always try to like get out of things. It's just really if I am like not feeling well or I just really would
Well,
rather
yeah, if you're
else.
not feeling well, like I feel like that's a completely reasonable scenario. Like if you
But not
told
like
me that, I
sick,
wouldn't,
but just
yeah,
like not like feeling well, like
mentally.
yeah, like mentally. Like
Yeah.
if mentally I want to do something else than what I've booked with you, I would just do it. Like it's whatever. But I feel like with my partner, I'm just more like, hey, like, do you want to do
Yeah.
this? Like it's just a little bit more ambiguous.
I get what you're saying, and not to start a thing, but you can be open with me.
No, I am, but I just feel like with friends, like I'm just not as like because I just don't like to change the plan. Like I feel like
Yeah.
I'm more considerate with friends. Like even if you would be like, "Oh, that's cool." I know deep down you'd be like sad that we weren't doing it. So I would never want that to you, whereas I know Michael doesn't get sad at all.
I mean, I guess, but I also feel like I wouldn't ever hold it against you. I feel like this is therapy right now. I think we needed this.
Okay, fine. Then you
But I
know
would
what?
never.
I'll start being how I am with Michael with you too. I'm just like it's very close.
Huh.
It's just I'm more likely to like cancel things with you. Like that's literally like the main difference.
Cancel things with me, Katie.
Okay, I'm gonna start canceling things
But
more.
also don't.
See? But it's like you guys are just different. It's not I feel like for me it's not even like a couple thing. It's just
It's
more
more
of
of
like
like the
a
person.
Michael thing. Yeah. Because if I had a boyfriend who was more like, we can't do that, like then I'd be the same kind of way.
Yeah. No, but like genuinely, like if you do like feel like you need to cancel something, like obviously, like I'd rather you cancel it and feel good in your mind than go and have you miserable the whole day because that affects like not to put this in a selfish way, but that affects me too. Like if you're miserable the whole time, it brings down the whole like vibe, you know? So like if
Right.
to put I think for the good of the group, I think it would almost be better for you to cancel and then we could do something that puts you in a better mental state as long as it's not something that like we like had like super planned and we're like waiting for forever and like you know what I mean?
But then I wouldn't even cancel if it was something that exciting.
Yeah,
But also, I will say, me and Julia actually do have a trip booked next year together.
we do.
A pretty big place, but we'll see how I feel about this, but I'm trying to do this thing now where I go to sleep at 9 p.m. So we're gonna see how that blends in with the trip. I'm literally sticking to it. Like I don't care what happens. I want to be in my bed at 9 p.m.
I was actually, when you told me that earlier today that you started doing that, the cruise came to my mind and I was like, oh, I wonder if that, like, what is going to keep her on that schedule versus what activities are not going to keep her on that schedule. And like, I didn't say anything, but like, I was wondering,
We were
would
both
you,
thinking it.
like,
Because I
would
knew
you
that
bring
was in
that?
your brain.
Like, I mean, it's fine if you wanted to stay on that schedule. It doesn't like bother me. But I was a little curious, like, what types of things are worthy of breaking the schedule versus what makes you stick to it, I
I think
guess.
I just literally want to do it every day because I just need to be on a strict routine.
It's really funny.
But if it was your thing, that's the thing. I think
Mhm.
if it's a neutral or if it's a my kind of thing, then I have no issue with it. But I think if it was like your birthday, that would completely like I would change it because I don't want to be like selfish on somebody's big event or like a wedding. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But I think if it's like if it's my birthday, then I'm gonna be like, no, I'm in bed by 9. Or if it's
Yeah.
like my wedding or my, you know what I'm saying? Like something
Hmm.
like that, where it's literally like what I want to do, then I have no, or if it's like neutral, if it's like, oh, like we're gonna go to this place, I could say ahead of time, like I want to be in bed by 9.
Yeah. But honestly, like, I'm totally fine with going to bed by 9 on the cruise, even though we didn't say what we're doing. We're going on a cruise. And even though like it's definitely not my schedule, I think I could learn to adjust to it because I have adjusted to your schedule before when we have gone on vacation. And you definitely have a very healthy schedule, like a lot healthier than I do. So when I adjust to your schedule, I wake up in the morning and I feel better. So
That's
I
what
actually
everybody
don't
says
mind.
around me. And I feel like because Michael's the same way. Like, I feel like if anything, he goes to bed early, which is insane, but I love
Really?
that. So I literally told him, like, I don't care if what we're doing, if we're hanging out, I need to be in bed by 9. At first, he's like, oh, I'm gonna miss you. But then he does it and he's like, I felt so good last night and I woke up so happy. And I'm like, you are welcome.
Yeah, I wake up with this newfound energy the next day, and I'm
Mhm.
like, now I really, really want to do this activity because I feel mentally there,
Exactly. Because
as
I would
opposed
rather
to,
do
yeah,
fun things in the morning and the afternoon than at night. Nothing good happens at night.
only bad things happen at
Only
night.
naughty things. So anyway, that kind of we kind of went on a tangent about
Oh
that,
yeah, we did, but I'm glad
but it's
I think it's
important.
therapy.
Yeah. I mean, I feel like I'm making it seem bigger than it is. It's just with I know I could be very particular and I don't always like to project that onto everybody because I know people are very different from me. So I think that's what I'm trying to say. Is like I don't want to project my particularities and affect everybody and be selfish when it comes to friends.
Meanwhile, you feel more comfortable doing that with your significant other on a trip.
Because he is
Yeah.
the same way as me and I understand that. And so if I was going to be honest and be like, hey, I don't want to do this excursion today, even if
Hmm.
we paid so much money, I know he's on the same page. And if he wasn't, he would like say it. Like not saying you
Hmm.
do this because you don't, but I'm just saying like friends might be like, oh, okay, fine, like tiptoe around it.
Hmm.
But he would literally, like, if he wanted to go, he'd be like, no, I'm going to go. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, he wouldn't.
Yeah.
So I know I could be really particular, and I just don't like to project that onto friends because I just
I
don't want to have that animosity.
Yeah, I do feel the same way. I mean, I don't feel like I do it with you, but I do think that sometimes I bite my tongue when I want to do something because everyone else is
Yeah.
wants to do something else. Meanwhile, with Donato, if he brings up he wants to do something or doesn't want to do something, like I speak my mind. So I think,
Yeah.
yeah, traveling as a couple, sometimes I actually do get my way a little bit more just because it's a different because it's a different situation. I'm not so afraid to ruin everyone else's time.
Right. So
Yeah,
so you agree with me then that
I
like
guess
as a couple
so.
you kind of do get your way.
Guess you just said it in a little bit of an offensive way.
No, 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 but I
No,
don't
I know,
mean
I'm kidding.
it
I'm
because
kidding.
like I literally only travel with you and that's for a reason. Like I don't like to travel with people that are very stuck in their own way. I think with you and it's more so a conversation. Like if I really didn't want to go with Michael, I'd be like, I don't want to go. With you,
Uh-huh.
I'd be like, hey, I'm not really feeling very well. Do you want to go? And it's more of a conversation. Like, but whereas with Michael, like it's more of like I don't want to go.
Yeah. Because I think it's like more authentic with the person that you're in a relationship with because you are with them all the time. So they've seen that side of you like
Yeah.
so heavily. And like, I mean, I know you and Michael don't live together yet, but like Donato and I live together already, and like he sees that side of me all the time with me just
Oh
saying
yeah.
certain things. So to have that happen on vacation, it's almost like nothing different. Like I'm saying yes or no to something that I would like, it's just something he's used to. He's used to me
Hmm.
kind of giving him a fight about things almost in a way.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah, because I don't know. I mean, I feel like this could be such a deep conversation, like in general, this topic of like, are we more authentic with our partners? Why are we this way? Whatever. But I just know for me, like I just speak my like I'm more direct. I don't beat around the bush, whereas I
Mhm.
beat around the bush more with friends. But with you, it's like the least beat around the bush. With other friends, I'm completely tiptoeing.
Yeah, no, I feel the same way, which is why sometimes I don't travel with other friends, or like I am very
Mhm.
selective when I choose other friends, because with a lot of my other friends or just in general, like even the ones that I haven't traveled with, like I'm maybe scared to get into that experience just because I don't know what it's like to travel with them, and I might feel like I have to beat around the bush and just not be my authentic self and then not have a fun time,
Mhm.
you know?
Exactly. That's how I feel. That's why like I literally only travel with you and now Michael.
Yeah.
Which I'm fine with because to each their own and you can do what you want. So that's
Mhm.
kind of I think why I normally travel with only you two.
Yeah, no, I get that. And I mean, I'm definitely open to traveling with others of my friends, and like I have suggested it to some of my other friends who I've never traveled with before. But it
Mhm.
is kind of a scary thing going into that because you don't have as much control as you do in your relationship, especially going into it with a friend you've never traveled with before and you don't know how they travel and if you can say certain things to them.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
So for me, that's the biggest benefit is just being your full authentic self and not beating around the bush at all. Like if that's your relationship, I feel like I said, not everybody has that relationship, so maybe that's not even a benefit to some people, but
Yeah, some people are very open with everyone in their lives, but I mean,
or the opposite. I
or
feel
yeah,
like some
close
people
off.
are very because I know I have friends who like they tell me like, with you, my most authentic self, but in my relationship, I feel like I hold back or I get nervous, like I can't be my full self around them and blah
And
blah
then
blah. So
he's
I
not
know
the
it could be
one.
yeah, but it's more of like a them issue than like
Yeah.
a man. It's like they just like even if the guy would have been fully accepting, they just get scared. So I think everybody's kind of like different with it. I mean,
Yeah,
I feel like
that's
you
true. That
should
could
be
just
your
be their
authentic self,
personality.
but yeah, it's just
Mhm.
especially when it comes to like men, they might want to like, dress up more, look better more, act a certain way more.
I get that in a way. Like I feel like I should be completely open with my partner, but also again, that's my personality. I know some people, yeah, some people are just different.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So that's
Yeah.
just my benefit.
Yeah, I totally get what you're saying. Do you have any negatives to traveling as a couple?
Um, you go first. I feel like I can't think of any off the top of my head.
Yeah, I can't really think of any like major negatives. I think the only like major negatives to me, I guess, is sometimes we carry our problems onto the trip,
Mm,
which we shouldn't, because I mean we live together and sometimes we do have issues at home. Obviously, nobody's perfect. And then sometimes we carry those negatives onto a trip, and it doesn't always feel like an escape. Meanwhile, it should, but it
mhm.
doesn't, because I'm still mad at him because he didn't take his laundry out of the dryer or something ridiculous. And
Yeah.
it's just like all the baggage that we had at home gets carried with us onto our vacation, which should be nice. Meanwhile, with
Right.
with a friend, I don't have that because it's like, oh, I'm mad at Donato, but I'm getting away now, and I'm with someone that's completely separated from that situation.
Right.
If that makes any sense.
No, that makes a lot of sense, and I feel like a lot of people could relate to that. Like you said, like especially like you guys like live together, like you're always connected, and then it's hard to kind of take off the to-do list or the, like chore list off, like and just focus on having a fun time. Like it's you really have to make that conscious switch in
Hmm.
mindset.
Yeah, like if something bothered me back home, like on the plane, I'm still thinking about it. When we're in this other
Right.
place, I'm still thinking about it. Like it doesn't just go away because I'm still with that person.
Yeah. Um,
Yeah.
that makes a lot of sense. For me, like I said, like, we're not that like we haven't lived together or anything like that. So for me, we don't have those kind of things. And like, I mean, I know everybody has issues, but I just feel like I don't have any like issues on my heart that like when we travel it anything comes up. But I think for negatives, I'd like to speak for like just in general. So like generalizations.
Hmm.
I think maybe one negative could be if you don't feel as close to them. It could be a really uncomfortable thing. Like if, like I said before, like it could be a make or break. Like because how you travel together is kind of like how you are going to be as a couple. So if you go on like your first trip with somebody, it really could be a situation where you see a side of them you don't like, and then that kind of like leads to like deal breakers. So
Yeah.
I think it's important to know when you're ready to take that step of traveling, because you will see a lot about that person that you didn't know before.
Yeah, I think that's definitely something to consider before you've lived together. Because if you're in a somewhat new relationship, and maybe traveling could kind of exacerbate the issues that are already there or create
Exactly.
issues that aren't there. So, I mean, I'm not saying don't travel with your significant other by any means, but I think it is a big step that some people don't realize.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, that is a potential negative. Is there anything about traveling with friends that you prefer over traveling with a significant other?
Um,
I mean,
I'm trying to
me
think.
personally, they're pretty similar. I mean, with you versus Donato, it's pretty similar, except like
Yeah.
maybe what you brought up before. It's just like with him, obviously, I act a little different than with you.
hmm
But for me, it's pretty much like I can't think of one thing that says like this is why I like traveling with you better, or like vice versa, really.
I mean, okay, so like I think the difference would be like how I said about how I'm just really comfortable with him and I'll cancel things no problem. Like I really like that and I wouldn't change that. But on the flip side, let's say if I didn't necessarily want to do something, but with you, like I didn't, like I wouldn't say that because like we're on vacation and stuff. So I'd push myself. Sometimes that could be a really good thing to like push yourself to do something that maybe you didn't want to do. And then you had so much fun doing it. So I feel like for me, that would be like a pro of traveling with you versus with Michael.
Yeah, it kind of branches you out to different things that you wouldn't have tried with someone that you're more comfortable with, I guess.
Exactly. And we
Yeah.
have such funny moments together that I would not have had, I mean, probably not have had with him, like when we were kayaking together and we had to just freaking take that kayak. Like, obviously, I would have it with him because I'd be like, babe, carry the kayak. And like, that's easier. But with us, like, that was just such a crazy, or like we're kayaking in the giant ass waves, like,
I
and
know.
we deal with that. It's just like so many like funny things that like when you're traveling with your girlfriends that like you might not, and it's also really fun to kind of bond with your friends, like because I can't talk about Michael with Michael. It's not the same. Like he needs to be out of the situation. Like I think when we travel next year and we're like in Turks and, oh wait,
Oh,
can I say
should we tell
it?
them? I
Okay,
mean,
we're
they
going
kind of,
to,
yeah,
yeah. So we're gonna go to the Dominican Republic and Turks and Caicos.
so
So
excited.
it's like super cute because we could talk about like our lives and like separate outside of it, because it's just really nice to reflect outside of your partner as well.
Yeah, it is true because whether I'm talking like it's, I could never talk about him with him. I could never say
Exactly.
like how much just anything about a relationship. I just can't bring up to him, obviously, because like it's nice to just have like that person to be able to talk to about him, about how things are going with us and ask for
Yeah.
advice, and which like you can't always do with what you can't do with him. Like I can't ask him for
Yeah.
advice on a situation I'm having with him, or like ask,
Yeah, and I feel like you see your life so objectively with somebody else, because I feel like when I'm with Michael, it just feels so normal and natural that we're at this process. And then I'll talk to somebody else and I'll talk about Michael and I'm like he's not there. And I'm like, oh wow, like we really like like we're really experiencing life right now. Like it like hits
yeah.
me like how intense like things can change. It's just it's I think it's really important to have friends outside of like your partnership, especially, and I think it helps the
Mhm.
partnership
Yeah,
because
because you
it
need to
helps
be
you
able to
see
remove
things.
yourself from that situation at some points
Yeah.
and like look at it from an outside point of view almost.
Yeah. Like I just always I mean it just makes me even like happier. Like I hung out with my friend, like a month ago and like we talked about it and just like expressing all the changes that I couldn't even believe were happening because I was just so in the moment that I'm
Yeah.
like, oh wow, like that's literally happening for me. Like I forgot that was like important or crazy because it was just like a day-to-day thing I was doing.
Yeah, because when you're in it, you don't look back and say like, wow, I got married. Wow,
Yeah.
what, I was actually just about to say something. I never realized we didn't tell the podcast about it. Um,
Oh.
do you know what thing I'm talking about?
Me, yeah, I know what you're talking about.
Should we tell the podcast? I mean, okay, okay,
Are you
okay.
sure if you want to?
I mean, I told the world already because like that's kind of what I was waiting for. I might as
Okay,
well. Yeah.
yeah.
Because, okay, I'm pregnant.
Yay.
Yay. Yeah. So, like, what I was trying to say is, like, looking back, like, I can't look at my life like that and be like, wow, I'm married, I'm pregnant, I have this, I have that. Like, it's hard to
Yes,
look at
yes.
that when I'm with him. But when I'm with you, I could say, like, yeah, like, we got married, but I'm having a baby,
Yeah,
like, all these things. Like, it's not, it's a different way to look at things, I guess.
because he's experiencing it with you. So it's
Yes.
like, of course he knows you're pregnant because he was trying and he knew. But it's like from an outside perspective for somebody who maybe didn't see you for like a month, it's like, oh wow, like, and they're living their own life and they see yours. So I think that also is like a pro of traveling with a friend versus a partner. Because
Yeah,
you have that girl time.
definitely 100%. Or that boy time. I don't know what you are.
Boy time.
Boy
Yeah.
time.
Yeah, you just have that time to reflect on your life from like an objective stance.
Yeah, definitely. I
Yeah.
100% agree with that. I never really thought about that, but yeah, you're so right.
Yeah, me neither until like this podcast. I'm like how important it is to do that.
Yeah, it is really important to also have time with away from your significant other because I've noticed that living in Florida that sometimes I do feel like I'm going a little crazy because I don't have someone to talk to that's not outside of the bubble that I'm in right now, if that
Exactly.
makes any sense.
And
Yeah.
then you can hear like a different opinion that you didn't even consider because you've just been living it.
Yeah, because the only opinion I have right now is mine.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
And his. But
yeah.
yeah. So
Yeah.
that, yeah, I think there are pros and cons to traveling as a couple, but I mean, overall, I think we both had really good experiences doing it.
I think it's just I think they're different, but they have a lot of similarities and they could both be amazing on their own.
Yeah, I 100% agree. Now,
Yeah.
do you and Michael travel styles? I know it kind of seems like you guys are on the same page. Like, do you think you have the same travel style, or do you think you have different travel styles and it's something you have to navigate?
No, we have exactly the same travel style. In fact, it's kind of what I've always wanted because we have the same exact travel style, but he's willing to do things that like for me I've always wanted a man to do. Like
Mhm.
he'll rent a car and he'll drive us and he'll like pick up all the suitcases. So it's like being like I said, solo traveling, but like I feel safer and more protected. So in that sense, yeah, like we both like the same types of things. We both like walks and food and just like very simple things. Um, and like we said, like we're not afraid to cancel things or change our plans last minute. Like we're both very spontaneous, but also want to keep to a certain kind of plan. So yeah, we're pretty much on the same page with that. What about
Mhm.
you and Donato?
I think for the most part, we're on the same page, although I do think you and Michael are a little more on the same page than Donato and I. I think he is a little more adventurous than me, I guess.
Mm-hmm.
And sometimes I would want to just take a day to, I don't know, just kind of like maybe, like, for example, we're going on the cruise soon and we were deciding what to do in Honduras. And I was kind of leaning towards just like a casual, like beach thing, just like lay on the beach and just relax. And he's like, no, we have to go snorkeling to see the shipwreck. And I'm just like, ugh. So
Yeah.
and I mean, we're probably going to wind up doing that because he is unwavering with it. But I do think he tends to go for the extreme activities while I tend to go for the moderate to easy activities.
Yeah, I mean, on your honeymoon, you literally went shark cage diving,
Hmm.
which I would never in a million years because I just don't have that stamina. But I think on the flip side, like I said before, it pushes you out of your comfort zone and it could be a
Yes.
good fit. Like I feel like they're both good. Like it's also good to have a day to relax, but then it could also be fun to do something you never would have done.
Yeah, I 100% agree with that because I think that's almost similar to what you were saying with like when you're traveling with me, how sometimes I push you out of your comfort zone a bit. But
Mm-hmm.
like I think he would do horrible traveling just you and Donato because he would like really push you out of your comfort zone.
It'd be too much. I think I would have a mental breakdown.
Yeah, because he pushes me out of my comfort zone a bit. So I think that's how
Yeah.
our travel styles differ in the sense that he is a lot more. I like doing the adventurous things too, but I think I need to be pushed a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
And he is just like the first thing that comes to his head with any trip is what is the craziest thing we can do there and how do I sign up?
Oh gosh.
Yeah.
Yeah, that would be way too much for me.
Yeah. So like for example, another example is we were planning a trip to Peru back when during COVID and obviously it didn't work out because COVID. But we were talking about doing the Inca Trail, and I really just wanted to see Machu Picchu. I was like, just take me there on a bus, it's fine. And he was like, nope, we have to do the 26-mile Inca Trail or whatever it is.
Oh
And
my
it's like
gosh.
one of the like most famous hikes in the world because it's very difficult. And
Hmm.
some people even need to be like airlifted out of it because of how difficult it is with the oxygen. And he was just
Wow.
so set on that. So I did agree to it. But and I mean, yeah, obviously we didn't wind up doing it. But if we ever
Hmm.
went, we probably will wind up doing it because he's very, very set on it. And he did hype me up a little bit about it. But I think I know if I was traveling there with you, we would both pretty much be like, let's just get a bus to Machu Picchu. Like, what is this
Yeah.
for? Yeah.
Yeah. But it's actually kind of funny, Julia. And I remember I sent you a screenshot like when I was manifesting my future husband. I literally put on it is like Julia because I think we have so much fun together and we are pretty much on the same page. Like you're just a little bit more like would want to do something like a little bit more crazy than I would.
Yeah.
Good. Um so like he is more like you in that regard.
Yeah, I think he's way more adventurous than I am. I think I'm more similar to you in that aspect than I am to him,
Hmm.
but because he just like takes it to the next level.
Yeah.
I'm
Yeah.
definitely, yeah, I know definitely I'm more in my comfort zone in that aspect when I'm traveling with you because I think he just very, yeah, he gets very excited about things that I'm like about, and it
Yeah.
always does work out being fun. Like the shark cage diving was really fun. I'm glad we did it,
Yeah.
but I don't know, it's just not something I would have suggested.
Yeah.
So we definitely have a different travel style in that regard. And I think it's just important in cases like that to just try to compromise, I guess, with your partner and find a
Yeah.
balance that works for both of you.
Hmm.
And I know it could be a little difficult, especially when they're being so pushy about it. Like, for example, like with the Honduras thing, like how we have to see the shipwreck. But
Hmm.
we did find an excursion for the shipwreck that you can see the shipwreck, but it's off of a beach. So if you want to chill on the beach, you could do that as well.
Yeah.
So I think we're gonna pick that one because it almost like appeases both of us in a way, and it gives me that beach
Right.
day that I wanted. So
Right.
I think that is important that if you do have different travel styles, you can kind of work together and figure out something that works. Otherwise, I could see that ruining some relationships, just people that don't have good communication and are
Mhm.
so different travel style wise, because someone's gonna be miserable.
And I think that does reflect back to their own life, like and their how they are their dynamic as a couple, because it's just more on an extreme scale because you're spending days with each other. But if you're going to be a couple and like really live together and spend time together, like you do have to be on the same page and compromise and find a balance. So I think it's a really important like step to take, and it's a good way to work on your communication styles and you know those things.
Yeah, definitely. Because I think communication is so important in a relationship, and I'm by no means the person you should go to for relationship advice because obviously, like, that's not my job. But I think that it is an important thing in a relationship to be able to have that communication that you're able to make those decisions and compromise. And yeah, and it travels over to travel. So when you're traveling, you need to be able to have that skill in your back pocket. Otherwise, you're going to run into a lot of issues.
Yeah, I
So,
agree.
yeah. And how do you feel about the planning process with Michael? Are you on the same page with that? Or
So
does planning kind of give you issues? Do you sometimes disagree on things? Like, what are your responsibilities in planning? How do you operate?
So we have a very specific way. We've only done it obviously like once, but we actually do it when we hang out sometimes too. So we have a really specific, but I think it's like the funnest thing ever because I'm like we're both earth signs, so we're both similar in that way.
Mhm.
So what he does when we go on vacation, so let me give you an example for Savannah. He picked out every single place in Savannah that was interesting. And we kind of book like maybe this thing this day, this thing this day. So he was kind of like he picked out all the places and I looked at the places and would consider them. And then I was like, okay, so I made like a rough outline for each day. And then that morning I would wake up and be like, do we still want to do this? Is this the vibe? And then we would kind of like adjust accordingly.
Mhm.
So our thing is kind of like make a plan, have options for what you want to do, and then go like live the day based on that, but also with like a little bit of spontaneity. And that really worked out for us. We had so much fun. We really went with the flow. It'd be like, for example, like, oh, sunset cruise at night. And we'd be okay, that's really cool. And then it would kind of come down to it and be like, actually, you kind of want to go to this restaurant instead of that sunset cruise. And we happen to be on the same page with that. So that's kind of like how we plan. We just kind of go off the energy based off of options that we've already pre-researched.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I do like that for you. I think I'm a little different in terms of, I think I'm a bit more of a planner than you in a
Mhm.
way. I'm sure you can agree. Like I tend to map out the entire trip. You've seen me
Yeah.
do that. Yeah. So, but then again, I am open to change.
Hmm.
So I think, and I think with Donato, he is a similar way to me. I
Hmm.
think that's pretty much how we approach trips as well. We don't really, we aren't as free flowing as you and Michael are with it, but we are a bit free flowing with it in a way. I mean, I know our Africa trip was extremely structured and we did plan it that way, but also with a trip like that, it has to be that
Hmm.
way. With Texas, when we went to Texas, for example, we were definitely a little more like you and Michael in that sense. So we had a plan for the day, but if things went a different way, we were completely okay with it.
Hmm.
But we did have some things booked as well, and we wanted to stick to our bookings. So
Hmm.
I think we are a bit more type A than you guys, I guess.
Hmm.
But I guess it works because that is a similarity that we have in our planning process. We do try to, and we try to make the decisions together, obviously. I mean, like I said before, our travel style in that regard is a little different in that way, in that we don't always agree on activities. Like, for example, in Texas, like I was just talking about, one of the things that we had booked was those e-bikes. And I don't know if you know what they are, but they're kind of motorcycles that are slower
Mm.
and, or they're bikes with a motor basically. And that's just not my thing. And we had to ride them in the street with the cars, and I was like, "Whoa, like I don't like this." And like the whole time, I was so nervous and having a panic attack almost the entire time. But
Yeah.
after we got off, I was so happy I did it. But
Right.
also, it's just not something I would plan myself ever. But at the same time, it was a nice city tour, and I'm glad we got a city tour. It was definitely not the city tour I would have signed up for. But I
Yeah.
think yeah, we do have some planning similarities in that we do have structure. He did want a tour. It's just, yeah, it's just the way we pick things is a little different. And I think making decisions together is maybe something we need to work on. But I don't think it's like a relationship ruining thing. I think it's just we just have different interests, I think.
Right. Yeah. That makes a lot
Yeah.
of sense. Yeah.
But I'd
And
say
like we said, it's like
overall,
neither way is right or wrong. It's just different.
yeah, it's just each couple is different. And I'm sure if we brought another couple onto this podcast, they'd have a completely different way of
Exactly. Oh
traveling
yeah.
and planning. I think,
I know
yeah,
a girl at work who like she was telling me about like her honeymoon with her fiance, and she was like, "Oh, we're gonna go to New Zealand, and every single day is booked. We have so many things. We have like 5 different activities for the day, every single day." And I was like, "Wow, that's amazing." And in my head, I was like, "I could never be your husband." But like her husband loves that. Like I'm sure he like loves doing what she's doing. They're just on the same page. So
yeah, that is a
that's so
little
cool.
overwhelming. I think I'm somewhat in the middle between you and her relationship. I think that's kind of where we lie, where like
Yeah.
I don't want nothing planned, but also I don't want every second of my day planned.
Yeah.
So I think I'm a medium of that. As same with Donato. He's also a medium of that. I think that's how we work, is that we're not like so we're not so free flowing, but we're also not that uptight.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like I could definitely be a little bit like I could never be on vacation where it's like someone just wants to spend the whole day on the beach or like I still need a mix of different things, but it's just like not too many different things.
Hmm. So would you, if Michael had a very different planning process than you and he wanted to do completely different things, his travel style was completely different, how would you approach that? Would you would you even be in a relationship with him? What do you think?
Yeah, that's a good question.
How would you navigate that situation, I guess?
Like I said, like it's never really happened because he's just very chill, go with the flow. I mean, he does have particulars that he wants. It just so happens that those particulars are what I want too. Like he's
That
like,
works
I
out.
really want to go on this hike. And I'm like, yes, me too. We have to do like Forsyth Park. We were both like, we have to go here. So it's never really been like that. We have such completely different interests. But if there was something where he was like, I need to do this, I'd be like, yeah, 100%, I'll do it. But then afterwards, let's say for dinner, can we please do this? So I'm
Mhm.
very much like open to if somebody, I mean, that's kind of like, it's not like me and you. Like, I don't say like we're so different, but like if you were like, can we do this? I'd be like, sure. But like, can we get iced coffee on the way? Like, that's kind of me. I'm like,
Yeah.
I'll do something, but then I need to like do something else to like do something that makes me like really, really happy that I could like look forward to or something like that.
Yeah, something that
Um,
makes the experience good for you too, I guess.
yeah, and that's kind of how I am. I'm pretty much go with the flow. There are definitely some people in my life where they just have completely different interests, like, and I just am so miserable.
Yeah,
I
I
just don't
know.
travel with those people because it's just too different.
Yeah, so if Michael was too different from you think you just wouldn't travel together?
I don't think we'd be in a relationship. But like for
Mhm.
example, like we had tours on the thing. And neither of us just happened to want to go on one. But if he was like, Katie, I really want to do a ghost tour tonight, I'd be like, okay, fine. But then tomorrow, maybe can we like sleep in and go here for breakfast? Like, I'm very much like with like the whole like balance thing. So if it was like here and there things, no problem. It's just if it was like the whole vacation was completely different than I'd book it, we just could not be in a relationship because I can't live life like that.
Yeah, I think I mean, I know every couple is different, but I personally I don't see how a couple like that can operate if just everything is different. I mean,
Yeah.
Donato and I are pretty different, but at least we are able to compromise, and I think that's really important. But I don't, if we weren't able to compromise and we were just so different, I don't think it would work.
Mm-hmm.
I think there's a
Yeah, because
level of
then why
problem solving.
like they say opposites attract, but I disagree. I think you have to have more similarities than differences and then be open to different things your partner wants. Like it's like, for example, like you both kind of want a similar structured day, but maybe like they're more adventurous and then they push you out of that comfort zone and it's good. But they can't be too adventurous where it's like they want their whole day like this, and then you just want to chill at the beach all day. Like that's just too, it's just too different.
That's very different. I don't even know how that relationship would work. I think
Yeah.
you'd really have to have a conversation, or at least like if they have to have one day like that, you say, okay, but then tomorrow we relax.
Exactly. But I feel like that's kind of that's what I would say too, is like,
Yeah.
okay, we can have that. If you really want something, I feel like I never say no to somebody who really wants like if you really want to go on that ghost tour at night, I will go, but then the next day, next morning, it has to kind of be something I'm comfortable with. Otherwise, then it's like too bad. Like then you just control everything.
I mean, I would say yes within limits. I think if he
Yeah.
was, if it wasn't a ghost tour, if that ghost tour was replaced with skydiving, I mean, I don't
Oh
know.
God.
Yeah. I think within limits, I would say yes and go with his schedule and try to accommodate and compromise. But I think you also need to be fair to yourself and you can't
Yeah,
compromise on everything, you know?
exactly. I agree.
Yeah. Like, I'm sorry, but I'm just not going to do that for anyone ever. So,
Yeah, no, me neither.
no.
It's just I think and we talk about this all the time when it comes to traveling. It's like knowing yourself, knowing what you're willing to do, and then just kind of like adjusting with that. Because if you don't know yourself and you're like, okay, I'll try skydiving, and then you're in the plane like crying, like that would literally be me.
Yeah, me
So
too.
I know to not put myself in that situation because I know what's gonna happen with me.
I'm really glad we're on the same page though, because now I know you're never going to bring up skydiving. I didn't think you were anyway, but now I know.
I just can't bring it up.
Yeah, I'm glad you can't,
No.
because I won't either.
Okay, good. I'm
I'm
glad we're
glad
on
we
the same
established that.
page.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's been on my mind for a while. I'm glad.
Yeah.
No, it doesn't, but you never know. Like some people are just like my sister, like all she wants to do is skydive, and I'm just like, what's wrong with you?
Wow.
So,
But does your
yeah,
boyfriend like that stuff too?
I think he's a little more open to it. I don't think because I know a couple years ago he told her he was gonna get her like a skydiving thing for her birthday, and they just never wound up going. And I don't know what happened, but
Mm.
like I'm almost wondering like was he scared? I don't know,
Yeah.
or like did he just not like is that just not his thing, or did it just genuinely not work out? I'm not
Yeah.
really sure, but yeah, I they did indoor skydiving, so I don't think he's like completely against the idea at least. But I know if it was completely up to my sister, she would have gone years ago.
Yeah.
So. I mean, I do think they work in a sense that like I mean, maybe the indoor skydiving was the compromise, you know? Maybe that
Yeah.
was the balance that worked for both of them. So,
Right.
I mean, yeah, I have no idea. I never asked. This is just all speculation. But
Right.
but yeah, I mean, I do think they are similar in a lot of senses, and I think you need to be similar to like some extent if it's even gonna work traveling with someone.
Yeah, I completely agree.
Yeah. I meanwhile, I mean like you should definitely like embrace your individual interests and not like make the whole schedule to like only appease you. I definitely think it's really important to take your partner's opinions into consideration and like make
Mhm.
sure the itinerary is fitted to what they like as well.
Yeah.
Even though like I know you and Michael are like exactly the same, so it's probably
I
nothing.
know, which is it's
But
really beneficial because it's like he'll be like,
yeah.
Katie, we like seriously need to go to this park. And I'm like, I wouldn't have dated you if you didn't want to go to this park. Like, you know what I mean? It's like we both just it's just accidental. Like I'm sure in the future maybe we'll both be completely different about something, but
Mhm.
I think for the most part we're just very, very, very similar with our interests.
Yeah, I do agree that like there probably will come a time in the future if you do stay together long term, which I do think you are going to. I think
Thanks.
there's going to be a time, you're welcome. I do think there's going to be a time in the future where you guys are going to butt heads on an activity a little bit, like there's no way you like exactly the same things. But
Yeah.
I think you have the strategies that you can work it out. It really all comes down to compromise. That's like the theme of this episode in a way.
Yeah. I
Yeah,
agree. Yeah.
because I do think you and Michael could definitely work it out if you had an issue because it seems like you guys are very good at figuring out how the schedule works for your day, and you're both very considerate of each other's opinions and feelings on certain activities and just things in life in general.
Yeah. Yeah, I
Yeah,
agree.
I think that's very important to carry over into travel.
Yeah. Completely.
Yeah, so do you have anything else to say about traveling as a couple? Any
Um,
other points you wanted to discuss?
no, I mean, Savannah was really the first experience I had, like really traveling with a partner because I didn't have that in my last relationship, and it was just literally a dream come true. It was like everything I ever wanted. Um, and I'm going away with him in again 2 weeks, and maybe it'll be a different case. Maybe it won't be as fun as Savannah, but um, like I think this episode was really helpful for me to just kind of like I don't know, summarize the important things and like if there was something that we disagreed on, just like how to handle it and, those kind
Yeah,
of things. I feel
just
like
to
it's
have some strategies in your back pocket just in case you do come up with one of those situations, you know how to approach it in a way.
exactly because I already know he did his work. He did all the research for like the places. And then it's kind of like up to me to like make that schedule. And then it's kind of up to us to discuss the schedule. So like we have that, we're gonna do that. But I'm sure things will come up and so, but I'm still excited.
Yes, I'm excited for you, and I'm excited to hear how this works out, and maybe we can have a podcast on your Lake George experience, and you can
Oh
talk about
yeah.
how the planning went and how everything went just traveling as a couple again. Because I mean, obviously it's not always going to be rainbows and butterflies, but I do think that you are going to have an amazing trip, and I think that even if you don't agree on a particular activity, I think you guys do have the strategies to work it out, and I think it will seem like rainbows and butterflies, even if you don't get to do everything you want to do or vice versa to him just because I think you guys work very well together. And I
Yeah.
think, yes.
And I think we just love nature so much that even if it's, whatever, like we'll just love being out on the lake and kayaking. Like we just want to do the same things when we're there. So I'm really excited to see how that unfolds.
Yeah, I think that's going to be a good trip for you guys, especially I can't believe you've never been to Lake George besides our trip in the
I
winter.
have, but it was very specific. Like I
Uh-huh.
went to a Bible camp.
Oh, yeah, that doesn't
So
count.
like it wasn't like a Lake George like hardcore trip. It was just like they already had activities arranged. Like I was just kind of going with the flow.
Yeah, like
It
this
was,
is
it
for
was
you,
different.
basically. Yeah.
Yeah. And we're
That's
gonna
really
probably go to
exciting.
Cafe Vero.
Of course. What if he doesn't want to go to Cafe Vera? What would you do? Here's
Break up
a
with him.
okay. That's very fair.
I just can't imagine a world he doesn't want to. Like he loves cafes. Like he's not gonna say no to the best cafe in the world.
Then he's not the one.
And he's not the one. Then it's gonna end really poorly there.
Oh my God. Yeah,
Yeah.
that's one thing you can't compromise on. Like you gotta go to Cafe Vero.
Yeah. I'm so excited to have that latte and
Uh,
at Applebee's too. He loves Applebee's.
I'm so jealous. Yes. I love that Applebee's. That's a good Applebee's.
It's a great Applebee's and
Like the
Lake
best
George.
Applebee's.
Oh yeah. So we have so many fun things. And we talked about this before with like priorities and things we want. I booked the nicest resort at Lake George and we got a window,
Oh,
like a balcony to see the lake. So
look at you.
ballin'.
All in.
I literally have nothing else booked, but if that's literally all we do.
I feel like you don't need to though, especially like knowing you and just hearing how you and Michael operate. I don't think you need to even have anything else booked. I think that's just
I don't think
enough.
it's good
Just
for us to have anything booked.
I don't think it is. I agree. I think you'll just cancel it.
Yeah.
Just
Oh,
go
it
with
was
the
so
flow.
funny.
Yeah.
No, like literally, Michael and I have movie tickets for 4. It's 3 o'clock now.
Oh God.
And I'm just gonna try to get a refund. If I don't, it's okay.
Why are we still here? You didn't
Because I don't care. Because it would have been a fun thing to do, but if we didn't do it, we're like literally he was like, okay.
That's so funny.
Yeah.
What
So fun.
movie are you seeing?
So Hairspray from 1988. It's the 27th anniversary or something. I don't know.
Is it?
Yeah, something like that. And so they were playing it, and I was like, oh, we should do that. But the thing
Oh,
is, he got sick. So now I'm like, I'd rather just like take care of you than like force you to go to a movie with me.
yeah. Oh yeah, he's sick. I forgot he's sick. Yeah. That's why he's
Yeah.
not here
That's
today.
why I'm not here today. And that's why this is actually kind of good because we could not have talked about this. Like he would have been a little biased.
Yeah, he would have. It would
Would have
have
been like,
thrown.
I love traveling with you. No negatives.
I know he would have totally thrown off the conversation.
Yeah. So funny.
Yeah, good
Or
thing he's not here.
he would have like imagine I'm like, it's just such a dream. And he's like, you're a nightmare to
Yeah, you're messy, you're rude.
So funny.
That would have been hilarious.
So funny.
Yeah, I guess maybe we can ask him his real opinion on the next episode, just
Next
briefly,
episode.
if he enjoys
Yeah.
traveling with you or not.
Yeah. Oh, should I, speaking of next episode, should I reveal
Yes.
secret destination?
Yes.
So,
Drama, please.
Michael and I, next summer, July, we are going to 3 different countries. We are going to Spain. We are going to the Italian Riviera. So like Naples, Florence, Pisa, Margarita thing. I don't know.
Margarita.
Margarita?
That's not a real place, I don't think.
Santa Margarita?
Santa Margaret. What is that?
It's like
Wait,
wine country.
because I looked at your itinerary. You sent it to me, and I don't
Oh.
remember that.
Um, I think, yeah, something like that. Naples.
Santa Margaret.
You said Naples.
Naples? Yeah.
Yeah, I'm going to Naples. I'm going to
So,
Rome.
yeah, basically like the coastal cities, pretty much.
Yes.
Right.
The Italian Riviera. And France, I'm going to Nice and Marseille.
And where?
Marseille?
Oh, is that how you say it? I never knew how to say it. So like hearing it out
Marseille.
loud
I don't
was
know.
weird.
Maybe I'm saying it just sounds like it's right. I don't know.
Yeah, I can't correct you. I actually don't know how to say it.
And
But
then yeah, we're ending the trip in Rome.
that's awesome. Yeah, so it's not, it's like one way, right? Like basically they're not taking it because you're starting in Barcelona, right?
I'm starting in Barcelona, which I'm actually really excited for. I've never had a cruise that like started somewhere and ended somewhere else, but I
That's
actually really like
exciting.
it because I've never gone to Spain. So I'm like, cool, spend a day in Spain and then spend a day in Rome. Like that's amazing.
Yeah, you could like extend your time in both those cities. And I think in both those cities also, those 2 cities out of all the ones you just listed off there are the 2 cities I'd probably say spend more than a day in. So that actually works out perfectly that you are able to.
Yeah, and I already booked the hotels. So
Oh, really?
I already know what hotel I'm staying at for Spain and for Rome.
Oh, amazing.
Yeah, I booked
Yeah.
a balcony for Spain, but not for Rome.
Mm.
Because whatever.
Yeah, whatever.
But yeah, no, we're really excited. So should we say what we're going to talk about next podcast episode?
Yeah, so next podcast episode, we'd like to kind of have a conversation on all this cruise basically because I have gone on a very, very similar cruise to what Katie's going on with Michael. And I think the only place I didn't go to that your cruise is going to is that place that starts with an M in France that we don't know how to pronounce. How did you say it?
Marseille? Marsaille.
Yeah, that place. That's the only one I didn't go to. And so basically we could kind of talk about like hype you guys up basically for your trip. Talk about things to do in each place or recommendations for a cruise like that because I don't think you've ever cruised in Europe either.
No, and I have not gone to Europe in literally years, and I'm just so excited.
Yeah, that's really exciting. I'm jealous. I'd like to go to Europe soon.
I mean, you're
Hopefully.
definitely invited.
It's okay. I'll skip on that one.
Like if you ever did want to come on the cruise, like I'm trying to actually bring my parents on the cruise
Really?
too, just because I feel bad. Like my mom's literally Italian, like her mom's from Italy, and she's never been to Italy, and I just know like she's the type of person to be like, I want to go, and never go. And I'm
Yeah.
the type of person to like literally get it in my head that day and be like, okay, I'm gonna go. So I was like, just come. Like I already have it planned. Like you can come. She hasn't booked anything yet.
Oh, and that's really nice of you to like offer for them and me too. I mean, I think I'll let you guys have your family trip.
I mean, I'm the type
Either
of
way.
person that like I like being around family, and it's like, let's say it's like very spontaneous. Like I said, like maybe when we're in Naples, Michael and I want to do our own thing, but maybe in Spain we want to do a family. So I'm like very like we pick and choose when we want to like spend time with people if we want. So
Yeah. Yeah, that makes sense. Like you don't have to be on top of each other the whole time.
yeah.
Yeah. My dad tried to like come on our honeymoon and I was
Aw,
like, oh hell no.
really?
Yeah. And then I think that's why he wound up going to Africa like 2 months later just by himself because I think he just wanted to go to
Um,
Africa so bad.
that's really cute.
I know. I was just like, I cannot have you there.
Yeah. But
Yeah.
we should do a like couple like traveling thing, like a cruise or something one
Yeah,
day.
because I think I mean Michael and Donato still haven't met, but I feel like they'd get along really well and I feel like we'd have a lot of fun together.
Yeah, and like we would have so much fun, and like they could do their own thing, we could do our own thing, we could
I
do our own thing
know.
with them. Like it could just be so many different dynamics happening.
I know, right? I know. I think that would be really fun for all of us. I definitely want to do that. That's a really good idea. Especially because I don't really do that with like my other friends who are in relationships. Like we haven't I I haven't even really been on a double date with any of my friends. I mean, we do it with Donato's friends a lot, but never my friends. So I think that'd be really fun, just anything.
You know what we might do?
But
Like maybe next summer, like after Italy, maybe like August before school starts, we could plan a trip to Florida, and like we could just like hang out and stuff. Like we can go to like Magic Kingdom, whatever.
that'd be
Um,
really fun. I like that.
because I never had gone to Florida with him.
Yeah, that and like I'm already here. We could show you around and like have our little couples getaway in a
Yeah.
way. Yeah, there's so many
That'd be really fun.
to do around here.
Yeah.
Yeah, I like that.
All right. Anything else to say in summary?
In summary, um, I guess just I think traveling with as a couple as a whole like kind of helps with growth in your relationship, but I do think that it also takes a lot of compromise on each person's part. So I think it is a very big step in a relationship and I wouldn't take it so lightly. But also I do think that if you want to be serious with that person, you definitely should travel together and it really helps bond. I think it's really important in every relationship. And I'm
Yeah.
sure you agree. I think it has helped you and Michael bond as well.
Yeah, completely. Like after Savannah, it was just like I was so sure. Like I knew I was sure before then, but like being with him then, I was just like, this is the easiest thing I've ever had. Like it really solidified that. Whereas like maybe if he wasn't my person, it would have revealed that. So
Mhm.
it's just really important either way, I think.
Yes, and I feel the same way. I've loved traveling with Donato, and I know, like I said before, we do live together, so sometimes we do bring our personal baggage onto the cruise with us, and we just sometimes have a little tension in a way, or not even the cruise. I don't know why I said cruise, just like every vacation. But I think it does help us to get past a lot of things and to love each other more and to spend time with each other without all of these pressures on us. I think our lives get to us so much at home and it's just pressure, pressure, pressure on our shoulders. And when we're going somewhere together, all of that pressure just releases and we realize that the problems we had with each other back home were so small.
Yeah,
That I
that makes
think,
a lot of sense.
yeah, and it's an escape. And that's why we are so, so excited for our cruise coming up because I know it'll be so good for us. We just get so caught up in work and just living together and bills and all that. And now we
Mhm.
could just have some time for each other.
I think that's really important, just to be in a different setting away from the day to day.
Yes. And whether we agree on the same activities or not, I know we're going to work it out. We'll compromise, we'll figure it out. And I just know it's going to be an awesome trip.
Yeah, I'm
Yeah.
excited.
So anything else to say on your end?
No, I guess I'll have more to say after Lake George. Maybe I'll have a different thought, but
Yeah.
we'll see.
Yes. Keep us updated.
Yes.
I'm sure you will. We'll try to have an episode on that too, if you'd like to talk
Yes.
about it. Yeah.
I'd love to. I don't even, yeah, I'm really excited.
Perfect. Yeah. So that should be coming in a few weeks then.
Hmm.
Is
Yeah.
when you're going in
Probably
like,
after the Italy one that would be the next one.
yeah, I would think so, right? Because you're going in a week or
June
two.
23rd,
Yeah. So like about, I'm not going to math, but
two weeks.
that sounds like 2 weeks. Yeah.
Yeah.
So yeah, in two
Less
weeks
than 2 weeks.
we'll be hearing maybe in like So probably in like 4 weeks, we'll be hearing about Katie's vacation.
I know
And
you're on the edge of your seats.
yes, so am I.
Yeah.
I'm excited to see how this goes.
Yeah. So much depends upon the
I
show,
know.
like George.
I know. Don't mess it up. So,
All right.
yes, everyone's depending on this. Okay. So, trivia question.
Give me a question. Okay, let me repeat the question. Ready?
Yes.
In which country can you find an annual festival where people race each other while carrying their wives on their backs?
So I've come no closer to coming to a decision, but I am going to come to a decision. I'm only gonna I was leaning towards one of the Northern European countries just because they just do weird things sometimes. No disrespect, but they just have weird traditions sometimes. I'd love to go there and I'd love to take part in the weird traditions, but I don't know. So absolutely no disrespect. But I do feel like they do things like that. But at the same time, just from talking about The Bachelor and you were saying that they have The Bachelor there or they went there, is that what you said?
Mm-hmm.
I feel like The Bachelor doesn't go there. I think they go to more tropical places, maybe Central America, South America type places. That's just what I've seen out of those shows. All those love related shows go to tropical type places. So I am going to guess a tropical type place. Bear with me while I think of one. But I think I'm going to go with Colombia
Okay.
for no reason other than I think that seems like maybe something a South American country would do. Maybe.
Okay.
And I don't think The Bachelor would go all the way to Europe. That's just my. Although if this did not involve The Bachelor at all, and it was completely, if that tidbit was not put in there, I'd probably say like one of the Northern European countries, like maybe like Finland.
Okay. So you okay.
Yeah,
So
say it.
Colombia?
Yeah, sure. I don't know. I've never been so unsure.
The answer is Finland.
What?
No, it's not. That's what you get for being biased against The Bachelor. They're always going to Europe. That's literally
they
all
really?
they go to. They always go to Denmark, England. They go everywhere.
It's the worst thing that's ever happened to me. Is it really Finland?
I swear to God, it's Finland.
No. I hate myself. I quit. I quit. You take over the podcast from now on. I'm done. Signing off.
So it says here, the country where the unique event of wife carrying races takes place is Finland. The wife carrying world championships are held annually in the town of Son Karjärvi, where participants navigate through an obstacle course while carrying their wives. It's quite a hilarious and exciting competition.
It's not that funny anymore. It's really not. I'm so mad.
You're gonna be so mad every time you think about Finland.
Oh, I'm gonna hate Finland.
Oh my God.
I'm so mad. Oh gosh.
That's so funny.
Literally I was gonna say Finland. Literally the only reason I said Colombia was because just the reality shows I've watched, they've all just gone to Central America, South America.
They literally like hardly ever go to South America.
I know, but I just thought it was too weird for Central America. That's why I said South America.
Like,
Not that
I don't think they've ever been to Colombia.
Not that South America is weird, no hate, but it's just I feel like they have more like quote unquote strange traditions. I guess I'm not sure. I don't know. I'm just I'm so mad.
Now it's like you're like doubting everything.
I hate everything right now.
That's so funny.
I'm so mad.
That's really funny. Well, it's Finland.
I hate that I'm hearing those words right now. Like it's just bothering.
So we should go to Finland, and then Michael and Donato can like race.
They should see who's the ultimate husband.
I feel like
Donato would win.
Yeah, I don't think.
Sorry, Katie, but yeah,
I'm too thick.
No hate to Michael, but I think. I mean, Donato's literally his whole job is to be fit. So I think.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't. Okay, let's move on.
I think we should still do it though. It'd be fun.
I think it'd be really funny.
Yeah, even though I'm mad at
Even if he
Finland right now.
drops me. Yeah.
I want to look up a picture of this.
Look it up on The Bachelor.
Oh, they did it?
Wait, let me share my screen.
I'm sharing my screen right now.
Oh,
Can
look
you see
up.
mine?
Yeah, look up
Wife,
Bachelor wife carrying competition.
finish. Ugh, I'm so mad. I knew it. Ugh.
Okay, never mind. There's no Bachelor. Oh yes, that was on The Bachelor, that top corner.
Ugh, I'm so, so, so mad. Ugh, that looks crazy. They hold you upside down.
Yeah, it's pretty scary.
Wow.
I would do it though.
I think Donato and I would do very well though.
Yeah, probably.
Just because he's so fit and I'm
And
so
you're so
small.
little. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, nobody else would stand a chance.
Yeah.
Yeah, maybe I'll make this our thing. And then in a few years, I'll look back and be like, remember when I didn't even know what country does this and now we're world champions?
Oh my gosh. The start.
Right?
That's so funny.
That is really funny. I think we should do that for fun though.
Maybe
Me
one
and
day.
Donato versus you and Michael. That's just a fun thing we do.
Maybe.
Yeah. You just don't want to lose.
I just don't like being carried.
I like being carried to an extent.
Hmm.
It's just any excuse
I
to
don't like
get
when
out
people
of.
touch me that much.
I just don't like physical activity. So if this is an excuse for me not to walk, then
That's
bring it
so
on.
funny.
Yeah.
Yeah, but you kind of have to hold on very intensely.
How do you hold on though? I don't
You hold
see.
on around his chest.
Oh, I see.
You
Okay.
have your legs around his neck.
That is a little scary.
Yeah.
Hmm.
And he's running like as fast as he can.
Yeah, that's actually really scary. What if he falls?
Like you have to be fit too. You have to have intense core strength to hold yourself up like that.
I don't. All right, we'll train and then we'll compete.
Okay.
So I hope you and Michael will prepare.
Oh my God. It's like, and
Oh,
he's
but like,
swimming too. That's so scary.
wait, where? They swim in this? Wait. Let's
Yeah.
see. Oh, that one.
That's really
They have
intense.
to go through water.
Oh my God.
That's really intense. I didn't even notice that. It's like a triathlon.
Yeah.
Imagine you have to bike with your wife on your shoulders too.
Yeah, no way.
Oh my gosh. Wait, maybe you do. This guy's wearing a helmet.
Oh, yeah, but that looks like fake.
Yeah, it's crazy. Oh my
All
gosh.
right.
Obstacles? Yeah. Anyways,
Anyway,
yeah, so
so
if you're wondering what we'll be up to, it's that. I'm very upset right now. Can I get a half a point?
you get half a point.
Yes. Thank you.
All right. So we'll see you guys next week.
Yes. Let me give my spiel.
Mm.
So if you want to find us, you could find us on www.runwaysandbyways.com. You can sign up for the budget travel planner if you need any help budget traveling, and it's 30 pages that will help you budget travel and plan out your travels. There's a newsletter as well. So if you sign up for the budget travel planner, you will be automatically enrolled in the newsletter and it will be delivered to your inbox every once in a while. And you could sign up for podcast notifications on the podcast page of the website. Just give me your name and email address and you'll be notified every single time we post an episode of the podcast. We also have travel planning services, which are Choose My Destination, where we will choose your destination for you based on your preferences. We will not book it for you, however. We have travel recommendations where we'll give you ideas of what we think you should do in certain places that you're going or any advice that you need for any traveling related aspect just based on our experience. If you need any advice, you can do that through our travel planning service. Social media, you could find us on Instagram, Facebook, YouTube, TikTok, Twitter, and Pinterest. On Twitter, you can find us at a different that is at Runways and Byways, but the rest of those websites I listed are at Runways and Byways. And for podcast availability, as you may know, because you are listening to us somewhere, but if you don't know or you want to listen to us on a different platform, we are on Spotify and Spotify for Podcasters /Anchor. We're on Apple, YouTube, and Google Podcasts. I think that is everything. Hi, Katie.
I thought you froze.
No!
Oh, you were like frozen.
You were frozen.
You're like, hi, Katie.
Because I said that is everything. You just never looked up.
I looked up, but I thought you were frozen. So I was like, I'm just going to wait until she unfreezes.
You did not look up. You looked like you were reading a book or something.
So funny. I apologize.
That's really funny.
Okay. Anyway, bye
Anyways,
everyone.
all right. All right. So next episode we'll be talking about Katie's future vacation with Michael to Europe. And I'm really excited. I hope you join us for that. And I hope I can give you tips and give everyone else tips who may be wanting to go to one of those countries.
Mm.
And with that, we will see you on the next episode of the Runways and Byways Travel Podcast. Bye, everybody. Whether your plane is taking off from the runway,
Or you're driving down a byway
we'll be your guides
through it all.